So I've been in this place for 4 days now. Why? Let's go back. Also, ignore the cold, so it happens when I'm stressed.
No.
Hello. You alright?
Yeah. Anything else? Any? You don't take any regular medication? Any supplement? I can see, you know.
Yeah, I use like protein powder and pre-workout.
Protein powder. I don't look like.
But yeah, no anabolics.
So there's nothing else, and you haven't changed. Even if you haven't changed anything or added anything or.
No.
Blood test are back, and your infection marker is slightly off, ever so slightly, nothing outrageous.
Yeah.
But your liver enzymes are up a bit more than they were before.
Okay.
So, the question is, because you've had the fever, we're treating you for an infection, and given where your pain normally is, the one main diagnosis that we would be concerned about here is, do you have an inflammation or infection of your gallbladder, which is sort of cholecystitis, so we're treating for that. I'm not convinced that's the main problem.
Okay.
But often if someone comes in with a bit of tummy pains on the right side, liver enzymes are up, fever and infection markers are up, usually that's the main source of infection.
Before I forget, happy 4th of July to all of my American subscribers. Happy Independence Day. But yeah, anyway. Yes, I ended up in hospital. And to be honest, the whole experience scared me. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't really like the shaking was a thing that really freaked me out. I didn't understand why my fever had gone so high or whatever. Well, I didn't even know it was fever. All I knew is I was uncontrollably shaking and I couldn't stop it. Until the ambulance came and they said that my temperature was through the roof. And then that started to make a bit more sense. I automatically started thinking the worst. Very briefly, wanted to stay positive around the whole thing. So I was like, oh crap, thinking the worst, and then I brought it back to reality of what the options and possibilities could be. And then the other thing I was thinking was, what is the part of my lifestyle that could have caused this? Is it just random? Is it I don't know, am I eating too much protein? Or all of these questions started going on in my head or whatever.
Alright, so now I've got to have an ultrasound. It's almost 4 o'clock. Been here since 9. Blood tests, been waiting 5 hours for the results.
It's so long, I'm sure it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
After the ultrasound, they said that there was sludge in my gallbladder. I don't know what that means. I did Google it, but I tried to avoid Dr. Google, because Dr. Google, if you've got a cut on your finger, it will make you think you're dying. So I tried to avoid Dr. Google as much as possible and just search very specific things. I wanted to find out what sludge in the gallbladder is, and it's quite normal. Some people it causes complications, other people it doesn't. But then my worry increased again, because after this ultrasound, because basically from A&E they let me go home to then come back in the following day to do the ultrasound. So I was like, okay, cool. Then after the ultrasound they're like, yeah, we need to admit you. For what? What do you want to admit me for? You want to admit that you are wrong? You want to admit that you have an undying, passionate love for me? But I kept questioning everything. So literally, what could have caused it? Why is it happening now? What is the reason for it? And all of these things, like I believe that everything happens for a reason. Like the reason that I came to was I'm not indestructible. You know, I live a healthy life. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I drink very rarely. So these are all the things that they asked me, and I was like, so it made them even more confused. But there were some other aspects that I could be better with. I could be more frequent with my food. I could stop being such a workaholic and stop running myself into the ground. I can work my mobility more. I can make sure that my joints don't hurt for days and days because I'm not stretching, I'm not mobilizing. But that place, that hospital, I was when they took me into the ward and they were like, oh, I was walking through the ward and there was just like, you know, they've got the open wards where there's just like loads of beds. So there was that, and I was like, yo, I can't stay in this place. This ward was just full of purely sick people. But then they took me to it was like a private room or whatever. And I was like, all right, cool, I can do this, but let's, come on, chop, let's get the ball rolling kind of thing. But I was just driving, I was just going crazy. It was like cabin fever. I was just stuck in that room and I was going nuts. I had Netflix and I was like, bro. So I started to channel my energy into watching very specific series that would help with my videography.
My liver markers are still high and they don't know what's causing it. So they moved me to medical unit, whatever it's called. Managed to go home and get some stuff. So when I got my laptop, so I can at least like watch Netflix or edit videos if I need to. NHS has been really good. They have been really good, and I know that they're swamped and stuff, but it's just like sometimes I think the communication is a bit poor. That kind of doctor to patient, and also between the staff themselves. Like sometimes they're just a bit too confused, and I'm like, but there's so many notes that so many people take down. It's like, where's all that stored? Is it stored? Who's told it? And it's but.
Okay, so get this. So they come in, they put the blood pressure thing on, they put the thing on my hand, and they come and take some blood. They do my blood pressure and my pulse or whatever. They'll be like, blood pressure's high and your pulse is a bit low. And then walk out. Bruv, tell me what does that mean? Like you can't say stuff like that and just walk out. And then the worst part of it all was how Elijah took it. Elijah was distraught. He saw the ambulance take me. He's very in tune with a lot of things. Very, very in tune. A lot of people say that he's like an old soul, but he understands a lot of things that you wouldn't think a child of his age would understand. So he was very distraught from the moment the ambulance took me. And then the day that I was discharged, I came home and I was gonna surprise him, and Naisha and him were out and they were walking back, and then Naisha said that he literally just stopped and broke down and burst out crying. And then he said, I'm here, I want daddy. I was like, changes everything. Changes everything. Can I help you take this off? All better.
Happy now?
You happy now? So what was the diagnosis? So it said Mr. Sey was admitted on the 17th due to abdominal pains, fever, and deranged LFTs. That's the liver markers. He had an ultrasound abdomen which showed sludge in the gallbladder. His LFTs improved on admission. He will be discharged with an outpatient MRCP and follow up as required. He is advised that should the pain return or should he feel unwell, he should seek medical attention. So I was meant to stay until the Friday, which the MRI was meant to be on the Friday, and then they discharged me on the Thursday for some reason, which is the whole reason why they kept me in there for so long, is because they wanted to keep me as an inpatient for the MRI and then change it to an outpatient. I don't know what's going on. So I'm still waiting on that. There's no clear indication of what is actually happening. The pain has come back a couple of times, but not as bad. So yeah, I guess it's still to be continued. But I'm okay right now. My liver markers are back to normal. So it's just trying to find out what caused it in the first place. Thanks for everyone that messaged. Thanks for everyone that has been checking up on me, through Instagram DMs, through comments, through text or whatever. I really appreciate it. It's nice to know that I've got an extended family out there as well. Yeah, that's it. So catch you on the next one.